is covering the things that they want you to hear. And so, a couple of these speakers talked about shutting off the media. That is definitely the recommendation I give to my clients because it creates stress, it creates fear. I was watching the news on Monday night, and it was a San Diego channel, ABC, I think, and they actually reported that they found a container of ice cream that has COVID-19. And they reported it exactly that way. So the container of ice cream has COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 is a disease that's caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So that means that the ice cream didn't just have a viral matter, it actually was sick with COVID-19. And so after hearing that, I'm thinking wow, we think that the news is right. We think that there's some vetting process that goes on, but they're just reading things that come through them. And so we really have to vet our own information. And I'm a big proponent of peer-reviewed research, following the money of the research.
Yes.
There's a lot of research out there that's done on 5 people in the corner of this room, and they cherry pick the information. And so you really have to look at the real research, the meta studies. Wonderful. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to say here is that we have to take responsibility as a nation, as humans, as business owners, to really educate and to do what's right. And we can't just sit down, we can't just stay home. That is not going to solve any problems. We're going to be a sicker nation. We're going to be less resilient to every next thing that comes by. So we really do have to take care of ourselves, take care of our family, and not just stay home and cover up your mouth, and that's not going to do anything. There's actually a couple studies showing that the masks actually do have negative effects for a variety of reasons. And one of them is causing the bacteria in your mouth to change. So we talked about the microbiome. We have bacteria in our gut that is in a certain balance for us to be healthy, but we also have bacteria all through our mouth, down our throat, and through our intestines, all the way out our butt, right? We have bacteria on our skin. And so when you're wearing a mask all the time, it's actually causing a change in that environment. And we don't really know what the effect is yet, so I don't have an outcome of this, but a lot of dentists are actually talking about mask mouth and actually causing more cavities, more gingivitis, because it's not the natural environment. If we were supposed to cover our mouth and nose, we'd have a black skin that we could button up, and it's just not human to do that. And,
That's right.
I'm not 100% against masks in all situations. If you're on an airplane and you are sick, I think people should wear a mask. I think that they should do that to protect the people around them so they're not coughing all over them. But I am against people thinking that they have to wear a mask from the time they leave the house to the time they come home. I like to run along PCH every day, and so I'm not wearing a mask. I'm running along, and there's people wearing masks, and they're giving me looks like I have some kind of disease, like I'm an elephant woman or a cootie. And I know better. I know all this information that I'm talking about, but there's still some human kind of feeling inside. They're oh, there's something wrong with me. And it's that feeling that you get when people are shying away from you all the time. And there's also a feeling that you don't get, that connection. There's something about being able to see, there's an ancestral connection that we all have with each other, being able to see facial structure, being able to see someone smile. And we take that away, we're actually more separate. We become more separate people. And we do become more judgy and more ready to tell on your neighbor or we're not having compassion for each other because we can't see each other's faces. And I think that's so important. We don't think about the socio-economic extent of it. We don't think about children, just growing up not seeing people's faces, not seeing people smile, not being able to read lips when they're trying to learn how to speak. It's so important. All these things, we never think about the end result. And there is no really long-term studies on any of this because we just started it all last year. Never before in human history have we done this to this extent. There were lockdowns with the Spanish flu, but not even to this extent. And they actually found out that the lockdowns and the vaccines actually caused more problems than they actually helped. So we really have to think about that. And then, I just want to I have a bunch of questions about the experimental biologic that they're actually putting out there of calling it a vaccine. it's actually still in clinical trials until 2023. So if you get this experimental biologic, you actually are signing up for a clinical trial. And so do not let anyone mandate you to sign up for a clinical trial. You cannot do that. So if you have an employer that's telling you need to do it, or if there's a lot of healthcare workers that are being told that it's mandatory for them to do it, you can absolutely fight that. There's so many doctors, so many nurses, so many frontline healthcare workers that are standing up and saying, no, I will not take that, because it's not studied. It's not studied. It's actually, the studies are all done on healthy young people. So all those clinical trials are done on healthy young people, not people with autoimmune conditions, not the elderly. And so we really don't want to take something that we don't know the outcome for a disease that is only really hurting less than 1% of the population. So that's kind of my little shtick there. Does anyone have any questions? I kind of went all over the place. Yeah.
Questions.